Over the last 24 hours, so much has happened to the XRP community. Obviously, the biggest of deals being XRP coming out victorious in the lawsuit, but as you guys all know, it is crucial to always read the footnotes. Here's something interesting that the lawyers in the community noticed. So Stuart Alroty, the chief legal officer over at Ripple, said this: PSA for other crypto defendants. Check out footnote 20, where the court makes it clear that the SEC's theories, other than to institutional sales, are potentially very much subject to a fair notice defense. And the reason this becomes so critical is because the fair notice defense was basically thrown out. But when taking a look at the details, you start to realize, well, it might actually still be relevant. Because the court finds that only the institutional sales constituted the offer and sale of investment contracts, the court does not address defendants' asserted fair notice defense as to other transactions and schemes. The court's holding is limited to institutional sales because, and here it goes, the SEC's theories as to the other sales in this case are potentially inconsistent with its enforcement in prior digital asset cases. So this is the judge also noticing the SEC is pretty freaking stupid. That's as juicy as it can make it seem. Anyway, over on the right, you're seeing SEC imploding. Now, I am not having a video here today for you guys. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. Let's see how many likes we can get for a video without my face. This is how I used to do it for years. I think 5 years I've done it without any face. I just want to get the info out to you guys, and the camera setup is going to take too long. Let's quickly address a couple things. First of all, most prominent piece of XRP news that came out was XRP also getting listed on Binance US. We covered it at the end of our stream, but that was one of the biggest pieces. Together with that, before we move over into why the SEC is imploding, what's happening with that, we'll be covering it in just a second. I want to quickly talk about this. It's a little bit of a longer rant, but the answer, actually two answers on this, are what makes it so interesting. So Brad Mills, a Bitcoin guy, came in to say this: SEC versus XRP case resolution gives even less clarity in my opinion. Crypto insider chats I'm in are all interpreting this as good for altcoins, good for exchanges. I don't think this is good for XRP or altcoins, as the regulators are still negative on tokens and pursuing actions against plenty of major players. Tell me what I got wrong. First, this case was whether or not Ripple and Garlinghouse, etc., committed securities fraud, not whether XRP was a security. All right, we're going to dispute all his facts in just a second. Ripple argued that XRP was like a commodity, akin to sugar and gold, and the judge ruled that argument was missing the point and said the token was not a security just because it was a cryptographic token on a blockchain. It does not say it's not a security either, but rather we're looking at how it was offered. 3. The institutional sales were securities, the bulk of the XRP transactions. The others, like token grants and salary payments, were not, in this case, of whether Ripple Labs committed securities fraud. 4, it was stated that this ruling does not mean XRP is or is not a security. 5, the SEC still holds coins like this are securities, and exchanges need broker-dealer licenses, and pumpers need registration, etc. So listing XRP for sale without a broker-dealer license means the exchange is breaking securities laws. There's so much wrong with what he's saying. Coinbase, etc. are already fighting the SEC regarding these issues for 99% of tokens traded on the platform, so adding XRP back is a political move irrelevant to whether XRP is or isn't a security. And 7, the fair notice argument was thrown out and Howey test still stands. Seems kind of like there's even less clarity now, and the crypto industry is broadly interpreting it as a win for tokens, even though there was no definitive statement that XRP and other tokens are not securities. So first of all, David Schwartz came in quite hot because, yesterday already there were quite a lot of people in a little bit of a discussion over all this. And David Schwartz liked to point out that it does indeed state that secondary sales of XRP are not securities. And again, I can dive into every single point here by just this little piece here, just explaining that it says that XRP is not a security basically. But Fred had a better answer, right? Let's read this real quick. You are mistaken for these reasons. 1. Whether XRP was a security was Ripple's second affirmative defense, and the judge ruled XRP, the token, is not a security. This was the biggest win. Second, this is accurate, but goes to the issue that the token itself is not a security. How it is sold is what matters. Bitcoin can be packaged like a security, as can anything, depending on the circumstances. And three, institutional sales were defined as having written contracts with sophisticated buyers and largely were pre-lawsuit agreements. Programmatic sales were defined as largely how P2P transactions occur. This was a green light for secondary sales without making a blanket statement. Other distributions like grants is strikingly similar to airdrops and were cleared as well, so the vast majority of XRP transactions were blessed as not securities transactions. 4, again, incorrect. Ruling explicitly said XRP is not a security. SEC, number 5, can say whatever the frick it wants, but the court literally rejected several arguments along these lines. And 6, correct. This ruling is absolutely terrible for all coins not XRP. Just read pages 19 to 21. For the reasons the court held, institutional sales were investment contracts. Almost every project fits these facts. And one of the pandemic-era congressional laws passed expanded the statute of limitations for the SEC to 10 years, so only projects 2012 and earlier are safe. 7, also correct. Now, oh, sorry, I don't have a camera. I wanted to pan to my camera, but I can't. to get back on this, the reason I'm showing you this all is because there are so many misconceptions and people just don't understand the current situation. Hopefully, this brings a little bit more clarity in saying, yeah, most cryptocurrencies out there are still in a difficult situation where I'd say they're for the most part cleared, but this institutional investment contract debacle, meaning, if they, for example, held a public sale or a private sale for that matter to companies, that might actually cut them on the side still. Now, I still do believe, though, that just a cryptocurrency trading on the secondary market is just now officially being cleared, and that's just huge for exchanges, so I don't get why he's saying the opposite. And anyway, I got the question quite often today, why is XRP not at like $10,000? What's going on? Why is it dumping even? Why is it not going up? And for the most part, I think it has to do with this. Like I already explained in my previous video, I think there's a fair share of SEC-related manipulation. And it comes from the higher-ups, the multi-trillion-dollar companies. Take a look at this. 1 hour ago, the SEC acknowledges BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF application. Quote, this filing from Bitwise comes in the wake of several other institutional applications for similar products, notably sparked by BlackRock's submission on June 15th. But basically, if I have it open right here, almost every single ETF is in that similar spot right now, as you can see right here. SEC acknowledges Fidelity, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree, and Invesco spot ETF applications. Things are starting, like the rumbling, so to speak, has started. And it's what caught people, I wouldn't say off guard, but put them on edge. Together with this, right, there's more. SEC v. Coinbase has started, and Judge Catherine Polk-Fela came out of the gate taking shots at the SEC. The U.S. judge, hopefully this doesn't play, there we go, it doesn't. Katharina Polk questioned both sides on a range of topics in the Manhattan court today, well, officially yesterday, depending on where you are. At times, the judge showed skepticism towards the SEC's messaging, saying there was tension between the commission's position that the agency was not looking to regulate crypto in its entirety in its lawsuit against the crypto exchange and its efforts to enforce alleged security laws violations. Quote, the SEC is not looking to regulate all crypto in this country. We regulate conduct, said the SEC's counsel, when asked to contextualize prior testimony from Chairman Gensler, where Gensler appeared to suggest the SEC did not have the authority to regulate crypto assets, because he said that a couple years ago when he also said that, most cryptos were not securities. It seems like to consider which conduct to regulate, you'd have to consider what to regulate, said the judge. And the discussion also came back down on the idea that the SEC gave approval for Coinbase to go public, and the SEC's response was, just because the SEC allows a company to go public doesn't mean they're blessing their practices, basically, which I think is stupid. And the judge said this, was it within the power of the SEC to have Coinbase register as a securities exchange? I think so, replied the judge. It's not crazy for Coinbase to think what they were doing was okay based on the issuance of the S1, right? Of them going public. Anyway, a new schedule might be popping up here very soon. Apparently she's very busy, a very busy roster or docket. But Coinbase has been filing these things like freaking there's no tomorrow. So most likely some very juicy updates will come out of this pretty soon. Anyway, like I was saying a little bit earlier, guys, I feel a lot of this is just being manipulated. And I don't want to sit on this for like hours and hours and hours right now. Just want to get you guys a quick little update. Summary judgment should de-risk regulatory pressure on Coinbase, claims Needham and company. And I'd say most people are of that opinion right now that for a lot of other cryptocurrency cases and companies, things are just de-risking right now. They're looking pretty good. At the same time, the price going down is most likely because of everything happening in the background with, well, I'd say the ETFs or the SEC. I just feel as if it makes too much sense that they want to keep prices down before all this ETF stuff is coming in hot. And again, it's happening at the exact same time. It just is too coincidental. And if XRP were to be let rip, I think the majority of the crypto space is just going to green territory. So they're trying to push it down as much as possible. I also saw this. BlackRock apparently just said crypto will transcend international currencies due to global demand. It's there, all right? The demand is there. The FOMO, so to speak, is there. So it's just some external pressure here keeping things down. It could even be Ripple's market makers because they might want to wait for a better crypto climate where there's less fear. You can see right now Coinbase is in a Twitter space talking about XRP right now. Everybody is talking about XRP right now. It doesn't make sense for the price to be this low. Will Schwartz said, apparently U.S. Congressman Richie Torres is requesting 2 separate independent investigations into the U.S. SEC. Yeah, we've also been hearing about that across the board here quite recently, about all these different parties that state an investigation into the SEC is necessary. And I'd say it would indeed be the first step of many, many, many good steps to come and follow. But yeah, I'm still excited, guys. I know the crypto space is moving in a strange manner. Over on the right here, you can see it. It's just a really strange movement. XRP broke the XRP versus Bitcoin 200 weekly moving average for the first time in 4 years. You know, we're seeing a lot of crazy momentum and a lot of coins are still doing amazing. And we're just getting more and more positive news coming out, yet prices go down. I can only attribute this to manipulation, all right? We're seeing all this bullish news, all this adoptive news, all these juicy pieces. Perhaps this is the SEC's counterattack. Perhaps they got more control than we thought. Perhaps this is just BlackRock, etc. It could all be. As I've stated before and I'll state it again, I think most of these cryptos are extremely undervalued right now. Things are dumping for some strange reason. It's very hard to comprehend, but I guess it might be a little bit of fear on top of fear. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm holding on like a madman because I know what I hold. But yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button. I'll see you again in another one soon.